Hello students, in the last class you have studied classification of chordates. In this class you are going to study about general characters of one of the subphylum of the phylum chordata, that is Urochordata. Okay, so as you all know, why we call it as Urochordata, because the term Euro is actually derived from a Greek word which is aura, where aura means tail, right? Which is I have mentioned you in the last class. So, general characters of Urochordata. So, Urochordates are actually also called as a C squared. Why they are called as a Urochordate? Because they have notochord which is confined to the tail region. Means they have notochord, well developed notochord, which is actually present in the tail region. That's why they have given the name Urochordate. And the one of the important feature of these Urochordata is, see, they have very unique dramatic developmental history, say from larva to adult stage. Okay, so these larva stage, while they are actually have, usually what happens, if you see the life history of any animal, see, the larva stage will have very primitive characters or very simple structures. As it becomes an adult, it will have most advanced structures, which is very common in all animals. But in the case of Urochordates, if you see the any examples of these Urochordates, they're in their life history, when they are in the larva stage, they will show all the chordate characters. But as they become adult, they will show primitive characters or non-chordate characters, which is totally opposite, which happens normally, which is not happens, right? Usually what happens, larva stage animals may have chordate, non-chordate character, but as they becomes the adult, they will show, usually they should show chordate character. But here it is totally opposite, where larva will have the chordate character and adult will have the non-chordate character. That's why we call it as, or we can say, the dramatic change in their life history. Okay, so that's why the characters of these Urochordates that can be have two heads. One is larva and adult. Okay, uh, other than this, the adult body is one of the important features of Urochordate is their body is externally covered by a layer which is actually called as the test or tunic. Okay, so these justify the name tunicate or tunicates. If you know the last video, I have told you that, say, Urochordates are also called as tunicates. Why they called as a tunicates? Because externally they have the layer which is actually called as a testar tunic. Okay. Another one important feature in case of Urochordates, that is, they have or they show retrogressive metamorphosis. What is retrogressive metamorphosis? I will, with picture, I will explain you in the further classes, but I will just explain you briefly here that retrogressive metamorphosis here, in the larva stage, if the animal shows a chordate character or advanced structures, and in the adult stage, if they shows non-chordate character or primitive character, then we say it as a retrogressive metamorphosis. Okay. So these are the basic general characters of Urochordates. What are the basic characters? They actually have notochord. They have actually shows all the characters of chordates, and they also called as a C squared or tunicates, and they show retrogressive metamorphosis. And in the larva stage, they will show chordate character, and in the adult stage, they will show non-chordate character. Their body externally covered by test or tunic. Okay. So now you have another one example for the Urochordata, that is Ascidia. Okay, morphology of Ascidia. Okay, so what is this Ascidia? As you can see here in this picture, so this is actually it is a photo of Ascidia, which is an example for Urochordata, and this is a picture this is a diagrammatic representation of Ascidian animal. So this is actually, so these Ascidia is one of the example of Urochordata. Ascidia is actually exclusively marine form, which is actually present at all the depths, means it present in the deep water or even in the shallow water. You can find everywhere in the marine. And one of the main feature of this Ascidia is these are actually sessile in adult stage, but in the larva stage they are actually free swimming form. Okay, so as you can see in this picture, so this is actually adult stage. Okay, so this is adult stage. The larval stage will be look like this. Okay, so this is the larval stage of Ascidia, and the larval stage of an Ascidia is called Ascidian tadpole, which is very important. Okay, so this is the larval stage. So the difference between the adult and the larval stage here, so the adult is sessile or which is non-motile, whereas tadpole stage is shows motility, means it shows movement. If you see the structure, you can say that they can show some movement. Tadpole is have tadpole like structure, plus it have a long tail. If they have long tail, definitely they should show motility, right, in the water media. Okay, so now you know the how they move or the development stage, and then how they feed or what they eat. So these animals are micromacrophages animals that they feeds on microorganisms which are present in the water. It may be a diatom, planktons, anything which is freely available in the water, that will be taken by this animal through the ciliary action. Okay, so they have, as you can see here, they have a mouth structure here, small opening here. Through this they will take the food. So in adult stage, they actually solitary farm. Of course, in the larval stage, they are not actually colonial, but usually these animal produces the larva. Egg will be releases out, especially at the same time. So that's why it looks colonies. You can find the tadpole colonies, but as they become adult, these Ascidia, it will become solitary form. You can see here this Ascidia is present separately, yeah, solitary. Okay, which actually have bag-like structure. You can see here their body have a bulge portion, right, there, which is nothing but a bag-like body. Okay, so next, as you can see here, they actually, their body is completely transparent and very smooth, right? So this animal, the body is covered by thick, slightly cartilaginous translucent tunic or test. Because of the presence of a tunic, the urochordates are called as tunicata or tunicates. Okay, which I already mentioned in the general characters of urochordates. As you can see here, so the actually body is transparent, and as you can see here, glass like appearance. So these animal, they actually have a thick layer, as you can see here. So this is a dark line here. This is actually called as a tunic, which gives the name to this animal as tunicate or tunicata. Okay, so what is this tunic actually, or which is also called the test, is made up of? So this tunic is majorly made up of carbohydrates and some amount of cellulose. The main component of this carbohydrate is tunicin. Okay, the term, the component of the tunic is actually is tunicin, which gives the name tunic. Okay, so the outer, other than this, the outer surface of the test or tunic is covered by thick protein layer. Okay, so the main function of this test, as you can see here, this is whole body. Other than this and opening structures, two openings, the whole body is covered by this tunic, which is made up of a component called tunicin. These cover, it gives a protection. Okay, which act because this tunic is, they don't have any living components, they just have protein and carbohydrate, right, which is a non-living component. The main function is to give protection, because these animal have very delicate body and it's a very small creature. So, and plus this is a sessile element, right, which can't move. So that to protect itself, they have this covering. Okay, and these test is very flexible. Okay, other than this, well, if you see the animal picture, these animal actually have two openings, right, isn't it? They have two openings here, one here, another one here. So these two are actually called as a siphon. Okay, so the one opening which is present at the center of the body, this is a center, right? If you see the body, this is not present in the corner, is called the branchial siphon, and another one which is present at the corner of the body called as atrial siphon. So a branchial siphon is nothing but see, which is also called as a oral siphon. Oral or branchial siphon. Why it is called the oral siphon? Very simple. This is a part through which the food will enters or water will enters. Okay, as the food will enters, they have branchial tentacles which will helps in the filtration of the food, and that food will be enters inside the body, right? So another one aperture, which is an opening called as atrial siphon. Also we can say it as an aperture through which the water will exist out. So from here the food will enters, from here the food will exist out. Okay, so this is the adult stage. And so the oral funnel usually have 8 lobes, where atrial funnel will have 6 lobes. In living condition, stream of water passes through the oral funnel and goes out to the atrial funnel. If the animal is disturbed, the body will contract instantly. As a result, the water contained inside the body will expels out like a jet. So that we call it as a sea squirt. Okay, what is it meaning? What's the meaning of it? It's very simple. You can, as I have mentioned you, that say these acidia, they actually have bag like ball, right? Whenever the water will enters from the branchial or oral siphon, so if there is any disturbance, because if it is a sessile animal, they can't move. When they feel insecure or when they feel any, they have actually disturbed, what they do, whatever the water will they intake inside the body, to this stigma sac like structure, they quickly expel out right through the atrial aperture. They squirt the water directly. That's why they actually call as a sea squirt. Squirting means releasing outside the water, really outside water forcefully. We call it as a sea squirt. Okay, so now you got why these acidia or urochordates called as a tunicata, sea squirt, because they have different names, right? Okay, that's why they have this name. Okay, how they move? As we all know, they have two developmental stages. One is larva and another one is adult. So larva stage, they have a long tail structure which is actually helpful for their movement, plus they have a contractile muscles outside their body which actually helps in the movement. Whereas in the adult stage, there is no structure present because they have body like this. They are sedentary. That's why they don't show movement. So in the adult stage, they don't show movement, they are sedentary, whereas in the larval stage, by the contraction of their body and with the help of the tail, they show motility. So this is a picture of Ascidian tadpole. And so other than this, how they eat, or they have, whether they have a digestive system. So simple is, as you can see in the picture. So this is the oral brachials, how they eat, right? If you say the digestive system, the food will be entered from the branchial siphon and it will enter the stigmata, which is a sac like structure, and from this the food will enter the esophagus and it will be stored in the stomach, and finally it will be digested in the intestine. Okay, even these animals also have intestine where the absorption of the food will be occurs, and finally this food will be releases out into the anus. So these animal have complete digestive system, right? And whatever the food will be, waste will be releases, that will be releases to this space which is called atrial cavity. From the atrial cavity, the food will be releases along with the water with the help of atrial siphon. So this is how the process of digestion takes place in the or you can say in the acidia. Okay, so other than this, which is I already mentioned, is sardines or hermaphrodites, means they have reproductive structure, both male female gonads present in the same individual. So where they actually present, usually the reproductive structure is always present closer to the digestive system. As you can see here, they are always usually present near to the stomach. So this is the stomach region, and the gonads, male female gonads, are present closer to the stomach region, is closer to the digestive system. Okay, whatever the gametes will be released, that will be first releases to the atrial cavity, and through this they will release the gametes into the water media. Okay, both male female gametes. So this is how the reproduction occurs in the acidia. Okay, so this is all about morphology of Ascidia. In the next class, you are going to study about larval stage of this adult Ascidia, which is nothing but Ascidian tadpole, and how the process of retrogressive metamorphosis occurs in this urochordate will be studied in detail. Okay, hope you all understood this concept. Thank you.